Merry Christmas. I have tried to think of ways to do this Christmas sermon without referring to our billboard. As a congregation, we dealt with it last Sunday, but I suspect that for many who visit us more occasionally, it is still on your mind. If I don't mention it, it will be the elephant sitting on the pew next to you, whispering in your ear, and you'll never hear my message. So let's deal with it and get it out of the way. Besides, since I dare say it will be mentioned in Christmas sermons around the world, why not in this one? Since a big part of my mission at St. Matthew's is promoting progressive Christianity, going viral on the internet is the elusive Holy Grail. As our friends and foes alike know, Glenn and I have tried repeatedly in the past to get people's attention with controversial sermons, articles in the Herald, media releases, billboards, and some of the events we permit to happen here. It hasn't happened in a significant way until now. It may never happen again. It's like winning the lotto. While I have heard from many about how angry it made them, interestingly enough, their anger only fueled the story. If our opponents were honest, they would thank us for our Christmas gift, the opportunity to express their opposing opinion to millions. Frankly, without the billboard, no one would have listened to them. On the other hand, contrary to Garth George, one of New Zealand's more conservative columnists, non-believers I've heard from not only found humor, but hope in it. They are the ones for whom the gift was intended. Because of them, I don't feel bad in the least about our decision to put it up. The advertising team I work with is both gobsmacked and over the moon about the worldwide reaction. They are an international company, but no one on the team has ever experienced this kind of reaction. To some degree, we are all a little bit mystified by it. It was just a billboard, after all. The total time it was up after being vandalized and stolen twice was less than 12 hours. But the image will live on in cyberspace forever, as well as in our imaginations. It will be in a prominent museum of poster art in Switzerland, in print media, on t-shirts, coffee mugs, Christmas cards, and refrigerator magnets for years to come. While untold numbers condemn us for that, the fact that there is a market for the billboard speaks loudly that there were many in and outside of organized believing who understood it was about love, not performance, and thought it was a hoot. One Anglican online news site called it the Virgin Mirth. I love that. The only thing I regret is how the reactions of some within the church confirm for others outside the church that religion too often prefers to reside in self-righteous and self-satisfied indignation. What I had hoped they would learn is that true faith practices eutrapelia. Yes, eutrapelia. I know it sounds like just another kind of perversion that the church needs to cover up. But it is a wonderful Greek word that Aristotle used to describe a wittiness somewhere between buffoonery and boorishness. He considered it a virtue, while Paul's use of it in Ephesians is often translated as coarse jesting. I like a friend of mine's definition best. It is the great big belly laugh of God. He thinks the divine played giggle belly with Adam and Eve in the garden and had so much fun his laughter spilled out into all of us. As my friend has written, God's laughter is the stuff of our fiber and our home address. Thank God for the gift of laughter, even when it is at our own expense, even when not everyone gets the joke. For apparently gift giving isn't always as easy as it should be, even for God, and according to the news, not for Santa either. While our attempt at humor was to get us to think beyond Santa to the true meaning of Christmas, in Great Britain, Santa tried to live it out, and it wasn't quite so funny. The Guardian reports it started out as a well-intentioned attempt to bring festive cheer to some of society's most neglected members, the hundreds of children who each year are caught up in the UK's asylum system. But when the Anglican Church's leading expert on Father Christmas, dressed up as St. Nicholas himself, arrived with one of Britain's most distinguished clerics to distribute presents to children held at the Yarlswood Immigration Removal Center in Bedfordshire, things took a turn straight out of Dickens. An unedifying standoff developed that saw the security personnel who guard the perimeter fence prevent St. Nicholas, the patron saint of children and the imprisoned, from delivering £300 worth of presents donated by several London churches. In a red robe and a long white beard, clutching a bishop's mitre and crook, St. Nick, who in real life is the Reverend Canon James Rosenthal, a world authority on St. Nicholas of Myra, the inspiration for Father Christmas, gently protested that he was not a security threat, but to no avail. Then, as St. Nicholas, accompanied by the canon theologian at Westminster Abbey, attempted to bless the gifts, the increasingly angry security guards called the police. The row comes amid mounting concern about the treatment of children in these centers. Last week, senior doctors called for an immediate end to the profoundly harmful detention of children in immigration removal centers. St. Nick has never been turned away from anywhere before, Rosenthal said. I hope the kids realize that they will be firmly in my prayer. This story begs the question of what is truly blasphemous. Our Billboard lampooning the virgin birth, or imprisoning immigrant children. This story, with accompanying videotape now on YouTube, has gone viral on the web, just like our virgin Mirth. It is interesting that while Jesus' birth did not make headlines in either of the centers of power in his day, Jerusalem or Rome, those inspired by his birth today can make a worldwide impact in a matter of hours. That is the nature of God's love. It gets up the nose of those seeking to maintain the status quo. Otherwise, Garth George would not still be taking notice of us 9 days after it hit the wires. The joke is that the more they try to contain that love, the further it spreads. Even before the internet, it was always thus. That's how a baby in a manger changed the world. It's how we continue to do so.